I'm here today with Akhil Jacob from Ninja One, hiring manager for an SDR team in Berlin. Akhil, how's it going?
Good, good. It's going really good. Great to see you, Kevin. Hope everything's well with you.
Yes, likewise. Akhil and I had the chance to work together in the past. I believe we worked together for a year
Yeah,
in Hamburg. So that was awesome. I always appreciated Akhil's openness in the office and willingness to help others. I noticed it. So, Akhil, you're good that we were able to keep in touch, and you're not too far down the road.
yeah. Yeah. Let's go, Kevin.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, Akhil, I mentioned it to you. I was wondering if you could give a brief overview of your story, where you started, what you were looking for when you came to Germany, yeah, how that sort of started, and then what was the step that broke you through to securing a job after some time applying, I would assume, and then maybe just a even shorter progression into how you became now a hiring manager and a leader for your current company.
hmm So I moved to Germany back in 2017. So the whole idea of choosing Germany was the educational opportunities and not as expensive as the US. I always wanted to go to the US, but then I didn't choose that option because it was too expensive for me.
Okay.
And Germany was really, really good for me because I started my journey in Berlin, which was very international. But having a bit of German knowledge really helped initially as a student. So I completed A2 level of German before I came to Germany. So I did prep a bit,
Okay.
and that's how I basically started. And as everyone, I did apply a lot. So one of the major things that I would say that every student should do is start looking for working student jobs in Germany, because that's something that you can do as a student. So it's not just delivery jobs or something like a physical work um, as most do, but there are a
Hmm.
lot of working student opportunities that people should make use of, and
Okay.
that's a stepping stone, especially in your CV, because when you move to a new country like this, everyone looks at you or you're basically starting from scratch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great point that you make. I haven't heard it from a lot of people, and it helps to have a little bit of background in German, like you did.
Yeah, absolutely. And for most of the people that I've seen like successfully integrate into the community, especially the job market here in Germany, is starting with the working student job, because it's kind of like the internship, but it's not full time. And you can most of the companies do convert you to a full time after you're a working student. So it's like getting a full time job right after you graduate.
Right. Make a good first impression, and then you can stick around. Perfect.
Yeah.
And Akhil, was also wondering, now that you've progressed into, you got a promotion, I believe, at our company that we were working together with in
Yeah.
Hamburg, and then you moved companies to Ninja One now, and
Mhm.
you're leading a team. Now that you're sitting on that side of the table, and not too long ago you were job searching as a foreigner, like most of my audience, what
Yeah.
would you say is the biggest thing that you look for from someone, especially say someone reaching out from India or from another country where a lot of people are coming from? What do you look for in such an intro message? How does it feel when someone reaches out to you personally, and what do you hate seeing on the other side of it?
Um, so first of all, maybe because I'm in sales, I don't hate people directly reaching out to me. That always makes me like those candidates, because especially if you're applying to sales roles, it's always good to reach out to your hiring manager, especially LinkedIn, like, hey, saw this, really interested.
Hmm.
Because sales is, I mean, LinkedIn is a channel for sales as well. So if you do that, you're already a step ahead of many candidates.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I would encourage. And for candidates, the no go for me, or the deal breaker, is being uh, too much of themselves, like, having to uh, how do you say, the exact
Giving
word.
too much, like maybe giving you their whole life story in one message, that sort of thing.
Um, mm, that is still fine. It's mostly when they are really boastful. Um,
I see. Okay.
yeah,
Talking too much about themselves.
yeah. And that's one question that I always love to ask during interviews as well. Like, who do you actually owe to everything that you have become until now? And if someone says that, yeah, it's all me, then it's a no-go for me because that means
Yeah.
they really don't value feedback and also don't want to work together in a team.
Yeah, exactly. And I say it too when I'm coaching with clients, is that you want to see, someone wants to see a candidate come along and identify what your biggest issues are and how you can solve those issues, what keeps you up
Yeah,
at night. If you can tell someone what's already going on in their own head as sort of a mind reader, then
yeah,
you're speaking to that person on a deeper level. No one is waiting for someone else to come along and drop all of their knowledge on you. There's enough information we have around us. So yeah, I agree with what you said there. If someone is being
yeah,
too thorough about themselves when you haven't really gotten their
yeah,
permission yet, that could be it. But this shows, especially in this department, that the method showing that you can do the outreach yourself and make the connection is a great sign
yeah.
to start off with. How would it make it if someone reaches out to you in such a manner, writes you in LinkedIn or on an email cold?
Mm.
What's the easiest way for them to evaluate? Say I were to reach out to you, what's the easiest way that you can evaluate me as a candidate to know if I want to move forward and get the job?
So first of all, if as I said, they do reach out, that means that they did a bit of research on the company, on the role, and who they would be reporting to. So that in sales is prospecting. So they're already done that for me. So that
Yeah,
means they can really do the job.
cool. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly. So you kind of answered what I was wondering about there in top skills. So it seems like proactiveness,
100%.
go-getter type of attitude,
Yeah,
taking ownership. Are these some of the main things that you look for your team?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Any other ways that someone would stand out to you? In say I pass my first test and I show you this skill that I have of being proactive to you. I wrote you a concise message. I identified your issues that you're going through.
Yeah.
What else would you look for me to stand out in an interview?
Definitely the questions that you ask during the interview, because if you don't have any questions for me, that gives me an idea that you're not curious enough, or you wouldn't be questioning or even thinking what can be improved. Uh, so that's really a no go for me.
Okay. So coming
Yeah,
with questions,
yeah,
always.
always.
Yeah, and you don't want it to be awkward too in the interview too. When someone's just
Yeah,
when you're just interrogating someone, I've been on both
yeah.
sides of it, and it's always like, hey, come on, there needs to be a push-pull relationship here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always about having a good conversation rather than an interrogation.
Yeah. Is there anything that you notice? I know we spoke off camera. Most roles that you
Mhm.
guys have right now, if not all, are for German speakers. Is there anything that you notice over time in your time in Germany? What's the competition difference like in English speaking roles versus German speaking roles, especially for Ninja One?
I think it definitely comes down to the number of applicants, because that's what we usually see for most of these roles, and especially with English roles, with the current expat population, we do get a lot of applications, which is also good for employers because they have a big talent pool. And that actually comes back to what you have been asking me, what can you do to stand out? So everything possible to stand out is what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is what people are experiencing, and what I hear from people all the time is that you look at some of these job openings that come out that are open for English speakers, and they could have 100 applicants easily within a couple of days, and multiple
Yeah,
hundreds within a week. and this Berlin especially, is that when you have 55% of startups now working in English, so much more competition. Even though there are the roles out there for people that are learning German, the competition is high, so you even need to be more qualified in order to get those roles. So understandable that at Ninja One, you guys have a ton of people to pick from always, but it's really where people need right now is also German speakers. So another boost, another point for people to make sure maybe even get to B1 or A2, something that you can show that you're progressing there. So it's good to understand that. What the positions, what are you looking to fill most right now? If you want to give a plug to any open positions that you have, any non-IT positions that are maybe not even posted on your website?
Well, right now we are more focused on the SDR position. I mean, we always need qualified SDRs, especially with more language skills, because as a global company, we need people at native levels so we can enter different markets.
Okay. So right now, German natives, and then any other country of highlight?
The Nordics. So
The Nordics.
Yeah, Finnish, Norwegian, Danish, Swedish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Okay, well, good to know. Yeah, if I come across some native speakers from the Nordics, I will let them know. I'm sure someone will listen to this and identify with it. Well, just a couple other questions I had for you, Akhil, and then we can say goodbye for today. And so I was wondering about when you have this approach that we've talked about, and did you incorporate it in the past as well in getting your job? When you came to Germany, did you actually reach out to someone cold?
Yeah, so I was always reaching out to hiring managers, and even after interviews, I would give them a nudge saying like, hey, thank you so much for giving me the time, and if I'm not, I mean, if I am rejected, I would always make sure to ask for feedback, and that really gives me pointers, or gave me pointers back then, what I could improve. So it also gives the employer a feeling that you really want to learn and you are ready to take feedback, which is amazing, which is really something that everyone should be doing. And I think most of the people do have that emotional baggage when it comes to reaching back to the hiring managers, to ask like, hey, give me feedback on what I can improve. But everyone needs to overcome that, or at least try to reach out, especially with your dream companies.
And taking control of the process is what I heard there. So making sure that you don't always leave it all to the company, and you're making sure to track your progress, get updates about where your application is, even something like that. But like what we see, if you're just applying cold without actually contacting someone in the hiring position, it can be 1 in 100 right now as a rate of when people hear back from. And I heard from one gentleman was much more than that, almost 1 in 300 right now in Berlin. So when that happens, you don't get any feedback, you don't get any opportunity to figure out what's going wrong. You don't have any of that until you ask. So it's that's great that you see that and you value that in someone to do it as well, because you know that it works. So is there anything else that I didn't ask here that you wish I would have asked during the interview?
I don't know. I can't think of anything. You pretty much covered a lot of things. I hope this is useful for your viewers, your people, and at least someone can benefit from this and get jobs and get interviews. And I think that's the start. Everyone should celebrate their small wins and then be positive.
Awesome. Thanks again, Akhil. We'll keep in touch. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Take care.
All right.